Norris, excited, for Canadian Grand Prix after securing P3 in qualifying. Lando Norris is eager to deliver a good show in the Canadian Grand Prix after securing P3 on the grid during a highly competitive qualifying session, missing out on pole position by just 0.021 seconds. McLaren experienced mixed results on Friday in Montreal. Norris went from P1 in the first practice to last place in the second practice session due to changing weather conditions. Read more. Russell clinches pole position in Canada with identical time to Verstappen in a closely fought qualifying. This fluctuation left the Briton unsure of his and the team's standing ahead of qualifying, but McLaren had a strong showing in the session. Despite George Russell taking pole position and Max Verstappen slotting into second with an identical lap time, Norris was encouraged by the narrow margins between the leading cars. "I'm super happy," the 24-year-old said after qualifying. "First of all, congrats to Mr. Russell. He's been quick all weekend, so congrats to him and Mercedes. I'm happy with third. When it's so close, you always think, could I have found that little bit more? Third is a good job by us, so I'm happy and excited for tomorrow." The session wasn't entirely smooth, given the threat of rain, but Norris acknowledged that these challenges are part of what makes the Circuit Gilles-Villeneuve special. "That's Montreal. That's why we love it here," he explained. "It's one of the best places to come to every year. I love it. It's why we're all smiling and having a good time. It's tricky. A lot of the time you're thinking you're going to crash, but when you put a nice lap in and end up in the top 3, it's always a nice feeling." Highlights: watch the qualifying action in Canada as Russell grabs pole and Ferrari suffer a shock double Q2 exit. Asked about overtaking the two cars ahead on race day, Norris joked, "Yeah, 2 overtakes tomorrow. Easy, light work. No, I'm excited to see what we can do. The car has been great all season, especially in the last 3 or 4 races. We've been on a good roll, but we have 2 very fast drivers ahead and plenty of fast drivers behind. We'll put on a good show tomorrow." Oscar Piastri also had a strong session, finishing less than a tenth behind teammate Norris in P4. When asked if he felt pole position was within reach given the narrow gaps, the Australian responded, "Yeah, there were definitely a few places where I know there was time, unfortunately. In those kinds of conditions, everybody probably feels the same. You look at George, going 3/10 slower from Q2 to Q3, clearly it wasn't very easy to get the lap together. I'm pretty happy with the position. Being so close and knowing there were places where I could have found time is a bit frustrating, but in a session like that, and if we're going to be fighting for championships, you need to be there even when things don't quite go your way." Ferrari are further back down the field, Red Bull have only one car up there, so it gives us a good opportunity for tomorrow. Regarding his prospects for Sunday, Piastri believes there are still unknowns heading into the race due to the limited data from Friday. As it happened, follow all the action from qualifying for the Canadian GP as Russell takes pole. "It's difficult to know what's possible," the 23-year-old commented. "It's been such a jumbled up weekend that the race could equally be just as unpredictable. Mercedes have looked very quick all weekend, Red Bull have looked good, and we've looked pretty good. We're definitely in the mix, but there are so many unknowns. No one knows how the tires will react in the race, because the longest run anyone's done is like 5 laps. When you've got to do 70, it throws a bit of a spanner in the works. But we'll see. I think it should be an exciting race."